Welcome back to Double Down University. I'm back at you guys with another Prizepicks video for December the 26th, and we're doing the Monday night matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'll kind of just rattle off my picks, and then I'll kind of expand and go into detail on why I chose each pick. So the first pick is Cameron Dicker over 1.5 field goals made, and then also Cameron Dicker over 7.5 fantasy score. And the third one is Deon Jackson over 7 rushing attempts. And the fourth one is Deon Jackson over 9.5 receiving yards. And last but not least, Dre Tranquil over 6.5 tackles and assists. So if you guys watched any of my previous videos, you know if I take two of the same player but two different props, the best case scenario, what I always tell you guys, is to hedge them and to put one in one card and one in the other card, because you can't put both in the same card. But these are hedge spots for both of them, which I really believe 100% that both of these guys will be able to hit both of these with ease. And so let's dive into it. So Cameron Dicker. So reason why I chose him is because he has a great matchup tonight against the Colts. So in every game this year, except for 2 games this year, since he's been acquired by the Chargers, he has hit 8 fantasy score in every game but 2, like I said. But also, he has made 2 field goals in every game but 2 games as well. So the only games he's went under is against Tennessee and Arizona. But he also has the potential to hit and make long field goals. As you see, he's made two 40-yard field goals, 40 to 49-yard field goals. He's made one against Kansas City, one against Arizona, and one against Tennessee. So those equate to 4 points for a kick. So if he gets two 40 plus yard field goals, then he should be able to hit his fantasy score with ease, as well as cashing the over 1.5 field goal attempts. So that's that with him, as well as if you want to dig a little bit deeper for his kicking against the Colts. So the Colts are 28th in the league in opponent field goal conversion percentage. So every time their opponent kicks a field goal, they have a 91% chance of making the field goal against them. So that's all I said. It's a really good spot for him. But moving forward, let's dive into Deon Jackson. So Mr. Deon Jackson, he has the benefit of Jonathan Taylor not being able to play for the rest of the year, so he can kind of showcase his ability and what he can do. And I know he has to split carries with Zach Moss, but as I was looking into Zach Moss's stats, he's kind of a little bit all over the place. Like, his snap count is way all over the place. Like, he has 1 snap against Las Vegas, 3 snaps against the Eagles, uh, 1 snap against Pittsburgh, and then 5 snaps against Dallas, and then he had a bye week, and then he had 53 snaps against Minnesota. But in those same matchups, like against Minnesota, Deon Jackson, he still managed to get 13 attempts, being as though Zach Moss had, what was it, 40, 54, no, 53 snaps. So he ended up getting, in that Minnesota matchup, 25 snaps, but he's productive, and he had 13 carries, so that would put him way over. But he's only missed this line in 1 game that he's played without Jonathan Taylor, which is the Jacksonville game, which I think is an anomaly because he's only had 2 snaps in that matchup. And if we want to dig a little bit deeper, like the Colts, so the Chargers, their run defense is not good at all. And I think this is a way that we could take advantage of their rush defense, is they allow 5.3 yards per carry, which is 31st in the league. And then they also, opponent rushes per game is 27.5. So we kind of only need to get to 8. But then again, he's going to split carries. So let's say Zach Moss gets 10 carries and he gets his 8. That should be close to the total of 27. So a little bit, one more, probably like 28. So I think that should be well enough for him to get his carries, as well as opposing rushing yards per game is 145. So to be honest with you guys, I really think Deon Jackson, all of his props is live, his fantasy score, his rushing yards, his receiving yards, and his rushing attempts as well. I think he will be the one that takes the bulk of the carries tonight. Now, also keep in mind too, I think it was 1 game this year. I can't remember what game it was, but he had a late fumble in the game, and the coach kind of took him out for the majority of the game and kind of just ran snaps with the other running backs that he had, the other committee of running backs they had. So just keep that in mind. I don't know if they have fumble stats up here, so I could see which one it was. Let's see. Yeah. So I don't see the fumble snaps. Here it is, fumble right here. So that game was away. And so yeah, so he only had one fumble in the season. So I think this is a really, really good spot for him. Last but not least, Dre Tranquil. So he's hit this number in 10 out of 14 games this year. And in the 4 games that he's missed, twice he's only went under by 0.5. And those games were against Kansas City and Las Vegas. But if you know anything about those teams, especially Las Vegas, they are a team that's most likely always trailing just because of how bad their defense is. As well as Kansas City is a big pass-heavy team because they're coached by Andy Reid and he loves the pass. So I really, really like this for him as well because I think the Colts, they're going to try to run it. And then also the Chargers are a really, really poor run defensive team or stopping the run. So as you can see here, the Chargers are 31st in the league in yards per rush attempt, so 5.3, as well as rush yards per game. They're 27th, 146 or 145, but you can round up to 146. And then also, they are terrible at getting off the field on third down, as they're 24th in the league and getting off the field on third down. And vice versa, the Colts are 7th in the league, so they're top 10 in the league and getting off the field on third down on defensively. So I think that plays into our hand as well because the more likely he is to stay on the field, the more opportunities he has to get tackles and assists. So, and then they're also top 10 in the league in defensive time of possession on the field. So they're 11th, going up against the 17th ranked Colts and 49% time of possession on offense. So I think this is a really, really good matchup for him. I personally have him projected to get like 8 or 9 tackles in this matchup, just off of if he stays in the game, and he's also, if he's not hurt, if he doesn't get hurt or anything like that, anything that we can unforesee. But even his snap count looks amazing. Like the last 4 weeks, he has 226 snaps. And then for the season, he has been on the field the longest of any other player on their defense, coming in at 790 snaps. So he's always on the field. So he's in the field on base defense, nickel defense, and any other exotic packages that they deploy. As well as his snap percentage is 94%. So that's more than Khalil Mack, Kyle Van Noy, and Kenneth Murray. So I think he should be able to get 9 or 7 to 9 tackles easily. So those are my picks. So I appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please put in the comments what you guys are going to be picking tonight for tonight's matchup between the Colts and the Chargers. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.